Congratulations on your Emmy nomination.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you very much.
how does it feel? Like third time around, is it like you're used to it now?
Look, no, used to it. Look, this will never get old. I mean, look, e, Emmy is in my line of work in television. It's the highest thing that it's the highest thing you can achieve. You can aspire to. So that if you get used to it, look, I ain't no Meryl Streep. All right, I ain't
But
used to
I
this
mean, maybe one day you'll get that call and you're like, yeah, sounds about right. I feel like that adds up. But how was
yet.
it? How was your like? How did you find out? Were you like watching the nomination stream or?
No, I got a call from my agent, and he, informed me of the wonderful news. And I truly was confused. Two things. Like our season came out so long ago, and we actually weren't involved in the 2019 Emmys at all, but because we had like just missed the deadline, right? So by 20 when 2020 came around, I kind of like was confused, on who was eligible, like what
You're
when
like,
we even talked about that before. And plus I've been sitting on the couch for 6 months because of
yeah.
quarantine. So I'm like, nominated for what? What I do? Like, um, but that's just evidence of the time that we're living in right now, but it was truly amazing, and it never gets old.
That's so cool. You guys were just like not expecting it at all. So maybe y'all knew you were in the running. But so you've been playing Moira for like what's it, 3, 4 years now, or
Yeah, yeah, going on 4 years now.
that's so. Read once that you said that like playing Poussey kind of helped you become more clear on what you were passionate about and what mattered. How has Moira kind of like exposed those sorts of things for you? What has Moira provided clarity on for you?
Yeah, Moira is really an extension of that, of shaping Samira and the kind of person that she wants to be. Moira is someone who has never been afraid to use her voice, never been afraid to be an activist. And I have really been stepping into that role, and it feels great in my own life. I am a part of so many marginalized communities. I am Black, gay woman. You know what I mean? It's just like every single thing you could be.
Yeah.
I'm there. So I count it a privilege to be able to speak up for my communities, to be able to advocate for us. So yeah, she has really, I think, given me courage in that way, and also shown me that it's, in a way, I feel it's my responsibility. I look at myself as a role model. And I think really anyone in the public eye, you have people looking at you. So I don't think you have a choice of whether you're going to be a role model or not. You really just only have a choice of what kind you're going to be. So she's gotten me in touch with that.
Was there any pressure for you, especially we've been in such like a tumultuous time recently? Is there pressure for you trying to figure out the right things to say when you have a platform like that, or
Uh, I think not even necessarily trying to figure out the right things to say, but it's, I think with anyone, you hear something and there's an immediate reaction, there's a gut reaction and completely how you feel about it. But it's more just a struggle of sometimes, I know in the beginning of my career, sometimes I was like, this one time I wanted to post something. I don't remember what it was. And I like, the thing that was tugging on my heart was this. And the other side was like, will I lose followers?
mm,
You know? And it's more that conversation, which that voice for me is quieting low and low and lower. I'm pushing it down a little bit more, because at the end of the day, it's like, well, if I lose followers because of this one, like this thing that I believe in, then like, I don't want y'all, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, so like, I've I've gotten more in touch with that. It's not necessarily like what I'm gonna say, but like how I'm gonna say it with empathy. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like a lot of the state that we're in America right now is because a lot of people feel forgotten. A lot of people feel missed. And so I want people to feel seen. Um, and yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey knowing that so many people are looking up to you.
definitely. Well, it's interesting because your audience, I feel like people that your show speaks to the most are definitely the ones who felt forgotten, I feel. And then it's also always been on air in the context of, what's going on in the White House and everything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. So it's very interesting that those two like have, grown
yeah.
parallel, if that makes sense. But
Absolutely.
how do you think season 4, do you think anything will, like anything about how the audience will perceive season 4 will be affected by like how, what everything that's going on?
I have seen every single season somehow sit right in the middle of the conversation of what is happening in America, in the world, globally. So I really don't think season 4 is going to be any different. In the scripts that I have seen from season 4, I don't know how the writers do this in Handmaids,
Really?
but I'm always amazed. It's always like, man, how do you like up the ante every single season? So I really don't think that this is going to be any different, and I think people should expect nothing but the best from the Handmaid's Tales writers.
How is production, how is that affected by, the pandemic?
Uh, yeah, we were in the middle of filming. We were filming the first, like, we were like in the third episode or so, and it was so wonderful to be back at work.
Yeah.
And we film in Canada, and I live in Los Angeles, so I used to go back and forth between like if I'm having some time off from work, I would come home.
Yeah.
So actually, I happened to be at home. I wasn't in Canada when they
Lucky.
made the decision to. I know
Yeah.
when they made the decision that we weren't gonna be able to move forward at that time. Um, so I don't know if there was chaos, actually, real chaos on the set itself.
Oh.
I mean, there might not have been. I don't know. Like, literally, people keep asking me. I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I happened to be home, which was a blessing. Being away from that, just because not even there was anything horrible going on there, but more so just having to deal with the reality of trying to get home in the middle of a pandemic. When people are afraid of traveling, and just because that has more risk. I counted it as a blessing to already have been home. I think I was supposed to travel like the next couple of days. I had like a flight in like the
You've been
next two
stuck
days.
in
Yes.
Canada for a
um,
minute.
so yeah, we had to stop that, but we're raring to go whenever it's safe.
Is
But
that,
that's the main thing. It has to be safe.
yeah. Is that going to be, I've read other actors say like kind of like snapping back into a character after what, 6 months of a time is kind of interesting. That's kind of a,
I didn't even think of that. Shoot.
I mean, not to bring up that worry for you, not to stress you out in any way.
Uh, no, yeah, that's probably gonna be no, that's gonna be interesting. No, it's gonna be fine though because
It'll be good.
you know, yeah, because like we have long breaks,
Mhm.
in between seasons, and I think I've thought that a lot about different characters, mainly Pusey and Moira. That like, dang, like, am I gonna remember how their voice sounded? But like, obviously, we're sitting here talking about me wonderfully and thankfully being nominated for an Emmy for the show, and that's three Emmys and three Emmy nominations in 3 years. So I think I can just try and have some faith in like that reality and know that like it's in here somewhere. So
You're
I'm gonna just
capable.
forget, I'm gonna just forget that you said that.
It'll be good. Sorry to bring it up. Sorry to
No,
tell
you
everyone.
good.
But so up next you have this HBO Max show that looks so cool,
Yes,
Equal, and
yes,
you came from a theater background, correct?
yes, yes,
So what's it like playing this kind of theater icon, Lorraine
yeah.
Hansberry? That's kind of cool that you get to step into that. What was
Absolutely.
your
It's
preparation and everything?
Yeah, I just, she's such a cool, like, it's so funny. Like, I feel like I've known, I mean, because The Raising the Sun is so, it's like one of the most famous, like, black, shows in the theater. And it's like so iconic. And because of that, Lorraine is so iconic. And I always like seeing pictures of her and stuff. And she just looks like she has like really cool style.
Yeah.
And, but in like preparation for playing her, I sort of delved into that a little more, and I did not know that Lorraine was in our LGBT
I
community.
didn't know that. I was like, that's
I did not know that. and I think that it's not a mistake that we did not know that. I think that that is just a testament to the times that she was living in. It was not safe for her and some of our other brothers and sisters to be out back then. But to be able to bring that truth to light, and show, everyone in our community that not only are we here, we've had a voice, but like we've had a voice forever, and like people just didn't necessarily feel like they could be themselves. But look at what we can do right now. We can, you know, not everyone, because I just want to acknowledge that in some places, in some countries, and in some families, it is still not safe for young LGBT people to be themselves. But which is all the more reason why I feel like it's important to be able to tell the truth of this woman's life. Um, so yeah, it was an honor. It was an honor to be able to play Lorraine. There's like this scene where I'm like in this theater, and like just speaking on from this stage, and it's supposed to be like open night of a Raisin in the Sun, and like it's nothing like being on stage, just like in a theater. I've never felt more home than when I'm like on stage in a theater.
Do you want to go back to doing more, plays on stage type things?
Um, I wouldn't say yes, but I wouldn't say go back. I just because like I wanna make sure that I'm trying to like do the things that like all the people that I admire do, and somehow they're able to do those things side by side. So I want to be able to add it to what I'm doing
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
But yeah, like that's home. It's always going to be home, and I feel like my training in theater has only made me so much better when it comes to the realm of TV and film.
definitely. You can always tell, I feel like, when someone has like sort of like a, established theater background, just their presence on screen. So I feel like we can see that in you. Um, and last question. So obviously during this time, a lot of people have been like, binging Handmaid's Tale, binging anything because they've been at home a lot. What's been on your watch list?
All right, so I be watching like shows that are like 6 to 8 episodes one season
That's quick going through. Yeah.
because I can't do more than that. I just finished watching Indian Matchmaker,
Oh,
which yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like it was fascinating, fascinating. I always thought that like Indian matchmaking was one thing, that it was like a thing that like really traditional families did, and that it was kind of like a forced thing that
Mhm.
like the young people didn't really have a choice. It like turned all of my assumptions upside down.
Yeah.
What else did I watch? Oh, well, this is kind of I'm a little embarrassed to say it,
But
but I don't care. It's Love Island. That is definitely not eight
not embarrassing.
episodes.
That's not embarrassing at all. That's culture.
Love Island, I live for that,
It's
yo. It's like
great.
50 episodes a season.
It's shocking. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love that show though. What else did I just watch though? Oh, this show just came out. It's about video games on Netflix. It's called High Score, and it's just about. You would think that like I'm super into video games, but I'm not. I like played like Mario on like Super Nintendo back in the day, and I'm like I'm a gamer. Um, but yeah, mainly Love Island, to be honest.
Those are great. I feel like they could have had a new season because it's a whole quarantine show. I feel
I
like they
know,
didn't.
right?
I was so annoyed. I was like, because that's what makes
Yeah,
summer. Honestly, it's like, oh
yeah.
my God.